Hey everybody, and welcome to another RCT2 review. Today we are continuing our head-to-head 10 review series, wrapping up round number 2 today. This is the second part of match number 3. This is Naam, Chalong, This was built by Ball Pit Warrior and Blutiful Monday with 32% each, Convoy with 32 as well, and Big Shooter Gill with 4%. Now, if you caught in the name, Naam Chalong Suum, that abbreviates to NCSO, and that's exactly what we've got today. We have our very first fully no custom scenery objects park. And actually, it's a really good one. There's a lot of really cool stuff in here and some super clever uses of ride track and shops and stalls and just all sorts of things. Let's pick up the coaster first, because I like to start with the coaster. So this is Test of the Naga. And we've got a pretty interesting little layout here, kind of Nemesis-esque start with that corkscrew. I actually like that really well over the top of the lift hill there. Got our loop, nice big tunnel here into a big Immelman, and sort of a windy turn right here. Definitely fitting into the landscaping and kind of working around some existing stuff. Nice little 0G roll here, and over and into a final flat spin here, and to our diagonal brakes. A little bit of an odd looking transfer track here, but nonetheless very nicely done. Lovely sports, really well done here with the angled bits. You know, B&Ms don't do the horizontal bit, but that's, you know, negligible when you're considering using the ride track to really do these sports. I've tried this myself and it is incredibly challenging, so I have a lot of respect for people who do NCSO work, because I can't do it, and it just makes it all the more impressive to me. Great use of the t-shirt stalls here as the station. Really just nice, that kind of Southeast Asian architecture going on. Love this boat here. Look at this whole thing. So this is the Golden Dragon. We've got the Giga Coaster cars coming out and other bits and pieces hanging off of it. Just really nicely done. You'll notice all of the guests have the red on, so they all have this same clothing on, like the followers of whatever sect that I guess they're worshipping, I guess. Perhaps. This is really cool here. We'll spin just so we can catch that. So this is a little boat drop ride. This is called Test of Fear. And a couple things about this. First of all, I really like the queue going around this pagoda with some really cool architecture to that. With the miniature golf course, with the mine train coaster, and all sorts of other stuff. I really love the hedges used here for the rice fields. And then look at the synchronization here with the splash. This is super cool. You can catch the boats coming up real quick and doing that little splash, but really neat. Cool touch there. Very cool, just overall detail. I love the little single paths, actually. It kind of has a nice old RCT or I guess almost scenario play feel to it. But these rice paddies in general are just great. Really well done. We've got the rapids coming through here as well, just adding a little bit of that color and movement with the kind of sparkle of the water. Really nice arch bridge here, using the cable cars here as lanterns, which is very cool, I think. Lots of great little details. Love the architecture, or not the architecture, the landscape here. Really well done. This is pretty cool here, using the laydown cars for some flags throughout. So just really interesting use of objects and ride track, especially. Speaking of ride vehicles here, look at this pagoda. It's made of log flume boats. Isn't that really cool? So cool, different, interesting stacked log flume boats in purple color. Just looks so cool in general. Very well done. Here we have another coaster as well. So this is Test of Faith, and if we slow it down here, I'm actually going to pause it here in just a second, right there. You'll see we've got our first instance, as far as I know, in RCT of the dynamic attractions cantilever type coaster. I don't know what actually it's called, but you may know it as the Donkey Kong coaster that's going into Universal Epic Universe. Really clever design. So it's got a physical track underneath the themed track, so you can go over jumps and things like that. So cool synchronization here, done really well. Neat little gaps in the track. I almost wish it would have been showcased a little bit more heavily here. Now granted, we do have a jump here, we have a jump here, and things like that, but I almost missed it in my first walkthrough around the park, so I'm glad that I went through and dug in a little deeper the second time. But really cool, really well done. I love the stairs here done with the mine train track. I think that's pretty cool as well. This coaster actually has an underground section here if we spin around. So this is another neat NCSO trick, just getting the cutaway here of the landscapes we can get underneath. We have this panda statue, amazing use of actually this scenery piece that you never would have thought is could be used in any kind of a nice way. So very cool, nice use of the mulch texture as well. The volcanoes. Here's our station right here, so we still have our nice little architecture here in this big cave. And then on top of it, we've got our pretty big temple complex right here with some of this great architecture too, using the actual pagodas alongside the track texture and everything. So a nice blend of the Asian architecture that's given to you in the game with the scenery, but also a lot of custom track work and just all sorts of things like that. As we work our way down to the water here, I really like how lively this is with all the canoes going through here. So lots of really cool details like this this whole thing. It's this floating market ferry is what these are called, and this is a whole floating market that you can see here with all sorts of details. Love the use of the sign pieces here. Love the use of the rafts frozen in place. Lots of really good touches for that. One of the things that I am a big fan of in here is this. So if you're familiar with NCSO, you don't have red wood roofs, you don't have blue tile roofs, but if you overlay them with a piece of glass colored in that certain way, you do. So really clever, good use of that. Also, this is the gas station from the urban set, which I think is pretty cool. A good little detail right there. Just lots of really cool stuff too, using the invisible color for the awnings here. We get these striped awnings, which is pretty clever as well. I think that's a nice touch. Lots of just really cool, fun tricks here. Love this little catamaran built from some monorail bits from, or I guess pontoon more so than catamaran. But we've got the meatball stall here. We've got the monorail underneath of it. We've got the log flume boats, and then some just actual architecture and the fence pieces here with some invisible colors being used. So just all sorts of just really cool little details. As we come up to the side here, we have this ropes course that has some pretty cool stuff. Let's see if we can click on one of these golfers here. So this is called the Test of Courage, and so we've got a couple different things here. We walking across this log, we got jumping across these posts, we have the swinging cars here. I guess is like little battering rams. You got to go through this cave of fire, and then I guess slide down this slide here to end. So lots of fun little details for this one. I actually really like this. This is a cool little way to utilize this hillside with something that doesn't take up a ton of space, but is pretty neat throughout. I love the synchronization there of the little slide coming down with this vehicle. Wrapping back around to the coaster initially, there's a couple of other elements here. We got this little lookout tower going on right here. We've got the sneaky dragon that's popping out back and forth. These stairs are really awesome with this big dragon down here, just a whole bunch of the Giga Coaster cars with the single rail spines. That's pretty cool. This angle, you can also see the custom sign for the coaster here with the dragon horns and everything. That's a very cool touch, I think. Once you come up here, we've got this gigantic temple. Maybe a little bit too out of scale compared to some of the other stuff, but still very nice. I think it's funny because it's called the Sanctuary of Truth, but inside is actually a crooked house as the ride, which I think is kind of funny. But I actually really like this tile work throughout too. So this is just a bunch of copied and pasted ride platform stuff and all that. Here's the hot coals, I guess, that you're walking over to. You get the little cauldron there. A fun little touch. This is pretty cool. The dragon celebration. We've got the ride vehicles here, as well as the invisible trains down here, which is the little pedal. Is this the pedal cycle or what is the ride vehicle? I guess, but rafts actually. Okay, so done as the rafts, but put in here invisible, so that way it looks like they're walking, holding the big dragon. What are those? I guess mannequins, puppets, whatever you want to call them. But really cool detail with that as well. I think just in general, the way that the ride vehicles and ride track is integrated into this space is just super well done. There's a lot of little tricks, a lot of fun details, a lot of these little flying around bits and pieces here. We've got the oriental magpies going through here, so I got all sorts of movement, lots of different things to see. Ultimately, this one did win the match among the two, so it was a good win for these guys, and it's cool to see NCSO win, because you don't typically see that as much, I don't think. But it proves that custom scenery can indeed take it to the custom stuff sometimes too. You should definitely download this park. I'll provide a link to the download in the description of the video. You will need Open RCT2, I think, even though it is no custom scenery, but either way, the link is there as well. That is it for round number 2. We will be back with round number 3 here coming up. So until next time, thank you all very much for watching, and have a great day. Later.